What's going on, guys? So I finally reached max spec on hide refining. So this took me since March, so about 5 months in total to reach max spec here in the Destiny board. And I made a few videos before this as I made my way maxing out Grandmaster, and this will probably be my final video regarding hide refining because I'm at max spec, and what I'm going to do is go over what I did to get to max spec and then go into the spreadsheet. I made a few changes based on comments such as adding nutrition fees and sell order fees, so I'll go into that. In addition to this, I'll go over how much I earn monthly focus refining with hide, and being that I'm maxed out now, I have more skill. I'll have more learning points with my premium every month. So I'll go over my plans for this character and also my plans for a new character that I recently made. Let me start off by saying what I did to get to max spec. First off, I placed many buy orders for hide. More specifically, whatever hide I was trying to spec up. So starting off here with like resilient hide. So I was placing buy orders for all enchanted resilient hides from common all the way to pristine here. I know it's kind of expensive, but I've actually accumulated a good amount of silver from market flipping and doing refining, and I'm actually able to place a decent amount of buy orders for these hides. And not only that, I was also placing some buy orders in Bridgewatch in my other character because that's usually the cheapest place to get hide. Over the past month, I've just been focusing on tier 8, and as I've crafted, once I got to like 20% here, there's usually a line of each level, I would use my learning points. So towards the end, it was costing me about 30 learning points per level once I reached like 20% of each of the levels. So it took me probably, I would say, thousands of learning points over the course of these 5 months, in addition to all the millions of silver I spent on buying the hide in the first place. And what I tried to do early on was pick hide that had really low buy orders. Like right on this one here, exceptional heavy hide, it's pretty close to the average here, 9,800, so it's not really much profit you're getting. But for a while, especially on like hide gathering day, and this is actually pretty cheap, but I was getting for like 5,800. Early on, this was probably my fastest spec to get up because the exceptional medium hide, especially during a hide gathering activity bonus and in Bridgewatch, these were very cheap, especially for the, right now we have wood gathering, but especially for like Bridgewatch, these were down to like 5,800 buy order. So I was getting these for really cheap and just stockpiling them. It wasn't as much for the higher spec because a lot of people are trying to up their spec as well. But I was still using the same process of doing that. And if I saw any tier 7, tier 8 hide that was cheap, even like the regular sell order price here, I would just buy them outright. Wouldn't have to pay the fee of placing a buy order. And I would just refine those if needed. So I was really tracking these prices over the past few months and knowing, you know, what the cheapest price is for each thing, and then trying to find the most efficient way to actually get to 20% of each crafting level to actually use my learning points to finish off the rest of the levels. So I did that process for 5 months, and now that I'm at max, I don't have to focus on like resilient hide anymore because I don't have to get the spec up. I could just focus on whatever price is cheap. So like if these are cheap here, uncommon thick hide, I could focus on that and put buy orders in because that's the lowest. This is the lowest it's been in the last month. So I'd focus on that and just go through each day and see what the cheapest one is, place buy orders, and do the same process. I have max spec. I don't have to really focus on a specific one. I could just look at the cheapest ones and stockpile those. And again, if they're cheap here, I'll just stockpile buying them outright until they get to a normal level. So maybe I'll buy all these up to like 3180 here with uncommon robust hide, and you get the picture. So that's what I'm going to do now that I'm at max spec. So now I'll go into the spreadsheet and I'll go over the changes I made to the spreadsheet and how much I can make every month. All right, so we are here in the spreadsheet, and I will post a link for those of you who want to use the spreadsheet. Make sure, because a lot of people request to edit this actual spreadsheet, but I don't want that because, you know, in case someone misenters something, it could mess it up for everyone. So all you have to do is just go to new and then just make a copy. And then you can make a copy for yourself, and you could type in, you know, whatever prices for your item. So let's say, now these are all new VLOOKUPs to this hide leather tab. And let's say I want to change the exceptional heavy hide price of, I could buy it for like 8,000, let's say. I don't think I've ever gotten that cheap for it, but if you go to exceptional heavy hide, it comes up as 8,000 because it's just a VLOOKUP. Now I'll just go back here, and now it's back to 10,200. But you can go here and enter in your own prices. I'm just using Martlock. But ideally, you'd probably want to buy in Bridgewatch, as I was doing a lot, and then sell in, let's say, Limhurst, and I'll go into that later in the video as to what I'm going to be doing the leather now. But focus on places that have leather crafting bonuses. There's leather boots, leather armor, leather helmets, because they're going to need the leather the most, and then sell those to the market once you have your crafted leather. So buy hide in Bridgewatch and then sell the leather probably in Limhurst, maybe even Thetford, because I have a character there that I'll go over at the end of this video that I'm starting leather armor with, and it's pretty expensive there. So, all right. So spreadsheet wise, what I added from the last video, I added the nutrition cost. So if you scroll down here, this is the nutrition cost per craft, and then this is going to be nutrition cost with stations fee. So for example, if you want to craft one tier 2 common leather, which would be stiff leather, it's going to cost you 2 silver. If the fee was, let's say, 200, it might cost you 1. So all you need to do is just go here where it says station fee, and you could change these as well. Depending, actually, this won't change. So what you can do is go ahead. Let's say your station fee is 800, and that shows up right when you go into a public station fee. It won't happen if you have like your own one in your island, but most people just use crafting stations that are available in the market. So go to one of the player crafting stations for hide refining, and then you'll see the fee per, and then just enter that in here, and that will populate the chart. So mine I was using was 440. If you have premium, the sell tax is going to be 4%. If not, you change that to 8%. And these charts are pulled into here, columns U and V, and this would show the 30-day crafting cost, which for the station, it's a decent amount. I mean, I wouldn't say it's too expensive. So like, let's say we're crafting pristine worked leather, we're getting 70 million, but the station fee is, let's say, 0. So we'd be getting 71, 72 million. So it's not a big difference, but people wanted me to include it, so I did. And then this final price also includes the sum of the sell order and sell tax, which might be 6.5%, or if you didn't have premium, it would be 8%, so 10.5% then total. And if you could see here, you change this to 8%, it's going to change the total profit because that's going to be more of a fee. Again, not too much significant, which is why I didn't include it originally. I want to limit the number of columns. But now everything is in there. And if you want to include buy order price, you could do that on your own, like the 2.5% fee. But in this spreadsheet here, the big ones here, and I'm going to actually just, for sake of this video, just so I'm going to do some conditional formatting. So let's say if it's a greater than, so anything that's over 100 million, it's going to show in the green here for you guys to easily see it. So, and the crazy part is, this is just based on the Martlock prices of buying the hide in Martlock and selling them. But ideally, again, as I mentioned before, what I do is mostly buy from Bridgewatch and then just transfer it over or transport it over to Martlock and then refine it there. And I'll just take pristine worked leather, for example. This is showing 40,000, but I could easily get it in Bridgewatch for 35,000, which would put me over the 100 million mark anyway. During like the gathering time, like the hide gathering, I was getting these for 28,000. So if you did that in stockpile, you can get over 160 million after the fees, which is nuts for just, 20, 30 minutes a week of just putting your buy orders in and then just refining them and selling them. If you want to add the transport time, it might be another 10 minutes, but that's more than worth it of affording premium plus more to just that Max Spec. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the spreadsheet before, to know, now these columns here show the max if you were at Max Spec. Now, if you weren't at Max Spec, let's say you were at like, you maxed the first two, and then let's say you're at 50, and this is what I was at for a while, and then I've just been increasing it. This will show you over here what your total profit would be without max spec, whatever your current spec is. If you were at 0 spec of everything, it wouldn't be really profitable at all. So that's why most people want to get their spec up as quickly as possible, and why I use all my learning points to get to this level. So at max level, what I'm doing right now, over 100 million, and I'm pretty happy with this, considering like my time to silver cost is much less now that I am at max spec. And that's basically the spreadsheet. If you guys have any questions, again, I'll link it in the comments in the description below, as well as I'll put it in the pinned comment. And I went over the nutrition cost, the sell fee, the sell tax, and then you could change your prices depending on wherever you're buying it from, and it will do a VLOOKUP to. Okay, so that's basically the spreadsheet. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Now I just want to go into my plans for my character now that I'm at max spec, and that's, as I mentioned before, I'll just continue every few days. Focus refine, I'll put buy orders in as I do market flipping, which is kind of what I've been doing anyway. I could just add a few more buy orders for anything that looks relatively cheap. So I'll put, let's say I'll put 200 in here for uncommon robust hide. This looks actually pretty cheap as well. Maybe I'll put 100 in. Rare robust. And that's kind of what I've been doing in this character. That's what I'll continue to do. Now, as my learning points increase, I'm already at 166 from 0 as I use them all. I do want to get back to see how much profit I can get max gathering. So right now I'm at Elder Quarrier and Elder Ore Miner. So I probably want to get up Lumberjack up to max, because usually those 3 resources are around Martlock, and I sometimes miss out, or it's really slow on gathering wood. And today happens to be Activity Wood Day, so I mean, I would want to do that. So it would be nice to get top or tier 8 spec on all 3 of these. So that's probably my next goal, and I might even use learning points, depends how slow it is, on getting. Maybe I'll just wait and then I'll just put 234 learning points into this to get to the next level. And then maybe I will save them for Grandmaster and then Elder, because that's like 750 learning points, a little less than a month worth of learning points, just to get to tier 8 from tier 5. All right, so that's that. I am going to go into my final plan, and that is what I'm going to use all my leather for, which I showed in this video earlier, but just to let you guys see it again. My worked leather tab, all the orders I've been buying, cheap and then refining. So what I've been doing is taking these, refining them, and instead of selling them to the market, I've had my 3rd character, which I created, and I shared my my guild with him, and I put these into my guild bank and gave my other character access. So I'm going to go to that character in a second, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we are back. And as I mentioned, what I did was I removed all the items from my character. This is IndieCraft, my new character. I literally just transported him over to Martlock. I had some ox and bag waiting for me that I bought with my regular character, as well as all this leather that I crafted on my Indie Progress character. And I took the ox and I ran back here to Thetford, because I wanted to try out the bonus of leather armor. So my regular Indie Progress character basically is trying to max out my leather armor, so I've been using it anyway, so I figure I could actually craft it for myself, as well as use that leather to get my spec up and see what profit I can make, because I haven't done any crafting yet. I've only done refining. So far, and I did this with some cheap, like just regular worked leather, and there's 5 days of free premium that we got for whatever reason. Maybe there's an issue with Albion. So I was able to use some focus and got some learning points to get these up to around 30. Now the next goal is to get these, because it's the cheapest, like the early levels, the cheapest way to get cost efficiency as well as quality. So my goal for this is going to use this leather to get 30 of all spec And then I could start using my focus refining to make it more cost efficient. So I do have a bunch of tier 4 leather here, from pristine to exceptional, worth 20 million. And from all my market flipping and my refining for my other characters, my stone refining and my hide refining, I was accumulating some gold, and I'll do this in this video now so you guys can see it. I'm going to buy premium and get that 500 learning points, 30,000 focus, and start this character up and see it. And I'll make future videos on this to see, and another calculator I'm gonna have to make in Google Sheets. There we go. To see if it's really profitable, because crafting's a little bit different because you have the quality of items, and in addition to that, you have the focus cost efficiency, which is similar in refining, as I did with stone and hide. But it is a little bit different because also you have the study aspect where people buy gear not only for the purpose of, you know, fighting with it. You could also use this feature called studying, and that will give you more fame. And I'll show you here. If you drop whatever item you craft in. So let me say I want to craft Adept Assassin Jacket. Let me just craft a few here. I'll craft 10. And it cost me so much focus because my spec is so bad. Just for purposes of showing you guys how to get your spec up as well. So I did 10 here. And let's see, I got 1 excellent. And I got learning point reached. So now that I have 500 plus learning points, I'll just use those. And I'm just going to specifically focus on that. So now in the study feature, now that I have these, if I just, it's going to destroy these items, and it's going to give me, depending on if you want to use focus or not, it's going to give you either 413% or 656% bonus to your fame for crafting. So I'll just study this just to show you guys. And it brought me up to 37 here. So that's pretty much my goal, to see how much profit I could actually make from doing leather jackets and crafting leather jackets. I'll make another video as I progress further and I make a calculator. But it's just another good use other than selling it, to try to see if crafting is worth it. Crafting leather jackets. I know personally I use leather jackets, and a lot of people use like assassin jackets for the invisibility. So I figured, why not try it and see what happens. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and feel free to comment with any questions or suggestions or anything like that in the comments below. Thanks for watching.